Since Deadpool's cancer essentially is so rapid and so bad that it just eats his body alive faster than his healing factor can take care of it, he's usually left with this raw and avocado of a face alongside other things such as his multiple different crazy and erratic personalities. So in the Spider-Man and Deadpool run from 2016, we basically see Wade Wilson trying to be a true blue genuine hero as he begins trying to hang out with Spider-Man and whatnot, and since Spider-Man had not revealed his secret identity, Deadpool was made to believe that Spider-Man works as a bodyguard for that quote-unquote scumbag Peter Parker. And FYI, Pete also made his friend dress up as Spider-Man so that the two of them could be seen together in the same room in front of Wade. So essentially, Deadpool, in a desperate attempt to learn how to become a better person, he gets to work with Spider-Man after he convinced him that he genuinely wants to be a hero, but that didn't quite stop him from also being a D1 hater of Peter Parker and genuinely wanting to kill him, but he couldn't really do that without a reason because he's an Avenger. But lucky for him, he eventually got a valid reason to kill him as a certain client called him and told him about the horrendous doings of Peter Parker, and although at first Wade was still hesitant on whether or not he should kill him, all the hesitation immediately went out of the window after seeing the horrifying things going on behind the scenes in Parker Industries. He therefore called his client and told him that he's all in on killing Peter Parker, and so later, after a great night out with Spider-Man, Wade pulls up on Peter and shoots him in the head right then and there. He then pulls up his mask and spits on him, only to eventually find out that Pete's soul didn't even end up in hell, which was extremely confusing to Wade as he was pretty sure Peter is a bad person. So that and a whole list of other things eventually made Wade realize that he was wrong about Peter Parker and therefore basically ended up bringing him back to life. And so later when he meets Spider-Man for the first time after all of that, Spider-Man essentially confronts Wade frustrated, asking him if all this wanting to be a hero was just an act to get closer to him so that he ultimately gets a chance to kill Peter Parker. Wade then begins genuinely apologizing, telling him that it really wasn't like that, explaining how he was tricked into believing that killing Peter Parker was a heroic move. He was tricked by a villain called Patient Zero, who was also the guy who used Parker Industries to commit the weird operations Wade saw earlier. And so to prove that he was truly just misguided, Wade finally takes off his mask, ultimately showing his normal face, which Pete was so shocked to see and thus stops him, telling him that he believes him. And although it may seem obvious, we then later see Spider-Man explaining his theory behind the reason why he thinks Deadpool's face actually healed, stating that for all this time Deadpool hated himself and therefore never actually tried to heal his face, but now that he's given up killing and been doing a lot better mentally hanging out with him, he let himself heal his face, essentially implying that it was all psychological this entire time. But all of this comes crashing down later when Spider-Man gets so determined about killing their villain Itsy Bitsy as he just couldn't see a way around it. So Deadpool, despite not wanting to, bites the bullet and kills her so that Spider-Man cannot, which Peter was so embarrassed about because he essentially forced his friend to do something that he really didn't want to because of his immaturity, and that ultimately caused Wade's face to go back to looking like it did before, which essentially meant that he now hates himself again because he's back to killing and whatnot. And so when Spider-Man questions him about his face, he basically tells him not to worry about it because that's life and because he was the whole reason it even changed for the better in the first place, which is honestly a way better explanation than anything we have gotten before. Let me know what you think and don't forget to like and sub.